And the thing I can't help but wondering is, why?
Something is deeply, systematically wrong with modern media. If you're watching this, you're probably a fan of these guys. Critical Drinker, the man who sacrifices his mental health so we don't have to. Nerdrotic, who deep dives into the corporate disasters we are too tired to analyze ourselves. Asmongold, watching him react to the newest cultural abysses so we can feel less alone in our horror. I watch all of them on occasion. I value every single one of them. They're brilliant analysts, sharp, funny, authentic. But there's one thing they're all missing, or fail to grasp. And I can't blame them, because it requires knowledge of psychology and information warfare. Things they were never trained on. But fear not, friends. Stratagems is here to connect the dots. They all ask the same question. Why is modern media so bad? Why are our beloved IPs being destroyed? Why do writers seem to hate their own audience? Why does every character sound like a Twitter activist? Why is everything so joyless? Some say it's laziness.
I don't give a flying fuck what the fans think, alright? We've already got their money, okay? We need some fresh fans with fresh money.
Others, they're just incompetent. Most agree, it's activist ideology run amok. And they're right. But that's not the whole picture. Every major IP we have grown to love started collapsing around the same time. This isn't coincidence, and it's not just incompetence when it happens to every single franchise. There's a method to this madness. Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Asmongold, they're describing the symptoms. They're telling you your leg hurts, you're coughing blood, you can't walk straight. But they are not telling you the why. They are not trained to see the disease. What they see, bad writing, activist ideology, corporate greed. What's underneath? Psychological warfare, or the 5th generation of warfare. If you would like to know more about this, please check out Stratagem's Strategy Academy for more insights on this. Let me introduce you to the modern Hollywood writers' room. Who are these people? They are not writers who happen to be activists, they are activists who happen to write. Everyone asks, who is this made for?
I question who this show was actually made for.
It's made for themselves.
Because fundamentally she told a story that resonated with one person only, herself. She wanted characters that reflected her own hang-ups and insecurities, and she got them. She wanted to push messages and themes that she personally agreed with, and she did.
Remember my Disney Marvel and Warhammer 40k disaster episode breakdowns? We talked about how boys and girls play differently based on our long year studies of Lego. Boys build worlds, establish rules, compete within systems. Girls focus on relationships, feelings, fixing social dynamics. Boys became themselves Batman. The girls bent the character according to their own characteristics. And while boys more identified with the message, for girls it seemed very much to be imperial who the messenger was. Now look at who's writing these stories. They're not building worlds, they're fixing them. They see classic heroes as dangerous. Why? Because classic heroes represent values they want to erase. The old Snow White, kind, gentle, optimistic, finds joy in simple things, believes love conquers all. New Snow White, girl boss, leadership focused, love is outdated.
You're a young guy, like, do you really want to watch two girls that have every privilege in the world talk about how bad men are?
To especially answer a regarding question of why from the Critical Drinker,
And the thing I can't help but wondering is, why?
concerning with the remake of George Orwell's Animal Farm, this basically also goes back to his book 1984, The Erasure of History. Now ask yourself, which version would modern parents rather let their children see? The joyful 3D animated, empowered version? Or the bleak, outdated version that actually teaches them Orwell's insights? This is deliberate. They're raising the next generation with their values. Here's what Critical Drinker and the others don't have the framework to see. This is 5th generation warfare. Quoting KGB defector Yuri Bezmenov, the main emphasis of the KGB is not intelligence at all. It is ideological subversion or active measures.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
He defected in 1970. He spent the rest of his life warning the West about the demoralization and the 4 stages. The first one, demoralization, 15 to 20 years. Second, destabilization, 2 to 5 years. 3, crisis, several weeks. 4th, normalization. What does demoralization look like? Attacking shared values. Heroes are now problematic. Traditional families are oppressive. Patriotism is fascism. Erasing history. The past was all bad. Your ancestors were evil. Nothing good existed before now. Making people passive.
In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism.
Constant outrage causes exhaustion. Everything is terrible causes hopelessness. You can't do anything causes paralysis. Sound familiar? Here's the key insight. Your hobbies, gaming, movies, comics, fantasy, where you retreat. After a hard day, you would come home, fire up Star Wars, lose yourself in Middle Earth, escape into the MCU. These were your mental safe spaces. Now, every show lectures you, every game educates you, every comic preaches at you. There is no escape. This is psychological exhaustion by design. The goal? Why would anyone want this? Well, a demoralized population is too tired to resist, too confused to organize, too defeated to fight back. To once again quote Mr. Bezmenov, a person who is demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell them nothing. Even when you show them the truth, they can't see it.
Yes, yes.
Let's look at the pattern. Example 1. Star Wars. The original trilogy, hero's journey, good versus evil, clear morality, hope and redemption. Disney sequels, subverting expectations, moral relativism, well from my point of view, cynicism and failure. The most hopeful character in cinema history turns into a bitter, defeated hermit. Why? To demoralize you.
And I'm paraphrasing George Lucas, he sold his kids to the white slavers.
I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and
Okay, but
And no one, including Lucasfilm and Disney, has a clue of what Star Wars is about, or even what it is. Is it the gayest Star Wars ever? Is it about exploring adult themes like rape? In Andor, a show that was preceded by one that was for little kids' Skeleton Crew. I guess the good news is the reported cases of whiplash have been greatly reduced because nobody watched either show, and there was no danger of any little kid making it to that scene in Andor in the 3rd episode because they'd be asleep.
Example 2. Marvel. Phases 1 to 3. Heroes sacrifice for others. Earned victories. Inspirational moments. Phases 4 to 5. Heroes are incompetent. Women effortlessly better than men. Constant mockery of legacy characters. This isn't bad writing. It's deliberate humiliation. Example 3. The Rings of Power. Tolkien created a world about courage in the face of darkness, small people doing great things, the power of friendship and loyalty. Amazon gave us
She's arrogant, short-sighted, confrontational, and completely disinterested in the well-being of others. She's happy to let the men under her command die for no obvious gain, makes grandiose, self-serving speeches to people that she needs to win over to her cause, callously manipulates and emotionally blackmails others to doing what she wants, and generally acts like a spoiled, entitled arsehole. I don't think I've ever rooted for Sauron so much in my fucking life.
Galadriel as angry girl boss, constant racial, gender lectures, and the sea is always right? Yeah, pinnacle of writing. They're not adapting Tolkien, they're wearing his corpse as a skin suit. But why would studios destroy their own IPs? Follow the money. ESG scores, environmental, social governance. Companies get investment based on social good, not profit. If you include diverse casting, modern messaging, Activist teams, you get billions in investments. Notice, Disney stock rose even as their movies flopped. They're not paid to make good content, they're paid to make propaganda. Let's ask the oldest question in the book. Who benefits from a demoralized population? Not you, not the artists, not even the activists. They are Lenin's useful idiots. Those who want control. A population that's too tired to question, too confused to organize, too defeated to resist, is easy to control. Mr. Bezmenov again warned us 50 years ago. Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students, without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism. The powers that be basically made an unholy alliance and are utilizing the goodwill of the activists for themselves. So, when Critical Drinker asks, why is modern media so bad? When Nerdrotic wonders, why do they hate their own fans? When Asmongold reacts in horror to the latest disaster, they're seeing the symptoms. I'm showing you the disease. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't incompetence. This isn't even just woke ideology. This is coordinated psychological warfare. And it's working. But awareness is resistance. Here's the good news. The moment you see it, you become immune to it. You can't be demoralized by something you understand. You can't be manipulated by tactics you recognize. So what do? First, stop consuming their poison. Don't make my latest mistake. Don't hate watch, don't give them your money, starve the beast. Second, create your own culture. Support independent creators like FlashJits. Make your own art, stories, games. Build parallel structures. 3. Spread awareness. Share this video, explain this to others, break the demoralization cycle. They can only win if you stay passive. The moment you act, we have already won. Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Asmongold, these guys are heroes. They are documenting the crime scene. But I am here to tell you who committed the crime and why. Subscribe if you want to understand the bigger picture, like if this makes sense, comment if you've seen this pattern yourself. Coming soon, why we're so divided, psychology behind it, 6 reasons why the world has gone crazy, how to recognize psychopaths in power. Awareness is resistance. Oh, and by the way, I never finished that episode. Some things really should have been cancelled.
If your kids are driving you crazy, entrust them to the TV. As long as we have your credit card number, it will automatically renew.
How dare you!
Thank you for your attention. This concludes my elaborations. Stay aware. Take care.